Everyone, please remain standing for the national anthem and remain standing for a moment of silence. At this time, a presentation of our colors by our Navy Junior ROTC program. If you would, please join me in a moment of silence in memory of two Gallatin High School students, Noah Searcy and Tabitha West, who both passed away during their high school years. Tonight, the class of 2022 has placed a yellow rose in their seats in memory of their classmates. Our thoughts and prayers are with their families tonight. Again, please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Everyone, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 91st Annual Gallatin High School Graduation Ceremony, the 48th in this building. All of us are here to recognize and honor the members of the 2022 graduating class. This is a very special night for our honored seniors as they commemorate their accomplishment of a significant milestone in their lives. So that each student can receive the recognition that he or she deserves, I respectfully ask you not to applaud, call out names, or in any way disrupt the ceremony. It's a very dignified and special program, and we want all of our seniors to be recognized in the same manner. Therefore, I request that everyone present in the gymnasium be as quiet as possible. Ushers are positioned throughout the building and have been requested to remove any person who distracts from or interrupts the program. If you plan to take individual pictures, please report to the entrance area to my immediate left following the presentation of the class of 2022. Please watch your program and do not come down too soon. Also, please use the back hallways in coming down for pictures. In addition, we have a photographer taking pictures that will be available for your convenience. Thank you very much for your cooperation as we work together to bestow recognition and honor to these most deserving seniors. At this time, I ask that you please silence all cell phones. Will the senior members of the chorus please join the rest of the chorus upstairs? I would like to now introduce our distinguished guests that have joined us tonight to honor our graduating seniors. Please stand to be recognized on stage as I call your name. Tonight we have two current members of our county commission, Mr. Baker Ring and Mr. Danny Sullivan. We also have two current members of our school board, Miss Betsy Hawkins and Mr. Andy Daniels. To introduce Gallatin's 2022 Distinguished Alumnus is Miss Sarah Kittrell, a member of our Faculty Alumni Committee.
In many ways, our lives revolve around our traditions. We have national traditions, such as 4th of July celebrations, community traditions, like the many events that centered around our town square. And of course, we have our GHS traditions, such as pep rallies, homecoming, and graduation. Individually, our families may also have traditions. In the Hooper family, medicine has long been their familiar heritage. This year's honored alumnus followed in his father's footsteps, becoming a physician. Several of his siblings and children have also made medicine their life's work. Dr. Wayne Hooper graduated from Gallatin High School in 1972. While here, he served as student council president, was awarded Kappa Eta, and voted most likely to succeed. He then went on to receive a BS in biochemistry from Dartmouth College, after which he returned to Middle Tennessee and attended Vanderbilt University Medical School. After a residency in Charleston, South Carolina, he joined his father in his Gallatin family practice. After almost 4 decades of healing, Dr. Hooper continues to live and care for our community. He and his wife, Barbara, have 4 children and 9 grandchildren. Not only has Dr. Hooper maintained a private practice in Gallatin, he's also been a valued advocate for the elderly, working with the staff at Gallatin Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Graduates and family, join me in welcoming our honored alumnus for the class of 2022, Dr. Howden Wayne Hooper, Jr.
Thank you, Ms. Kittrell, for that kind introduction. And thanks also to the misinformed and obviously desperate committee you chaired, which clearly was scraping the bottom of the barrel when they reached out to me to present this graduation address. To Dr. Ron Becker, principal of Gallatin Senior High School, his staff, members of the Board of Education, families and friends, and to the graduating class of 2022, thank you for inviting me to experience how oppressively warm an otherwise comfy suit and tie can feel when one's about to humiliate themselves in front of a sea of mostly unfamiliar faces. Because my profession never required that I address large crowds, I, not surprisingly, have not spoken in front of a group this large since I was in high school myself. Despite that, I've always felt that one should work to become proficient at public speaking. Preparing for this evening has cured me of that notion. As you of the graduating class have surmised, I also graduated from Gallatin Senior High School, albeit from a different building as well as from a different century. And I realized shortly after I lost that game of phone tag with Miss Kittrell that 2022 marks the 50th anniversary of my own high school commencement exercises. That's 50 years, half a century. Must seem like a lifetime to you seniors, and adding the average of your ages to that number, it almost has been. How much has changed? I learned to multiply and divide using a slide rule, and remember how jealous I was of a classmate who owned a newfangled gizmo my freshman year in college, a handheld calculator. The cost was $100, and it could actually add, subtract, multiply, and divide. When I graduated from high school, the only mobile phones in the world took up as much space as your carry-on luggage would today, and only worked in cities and along major highways. The nation's interstate system was still under construction in 1972. The integrated circuit was barely out of its infancy, and computers that did little more than my Apple Watch took up entire rooms. There were no personal computers. Scientists of the day actually asked, what would anybody outside a company or university actually need a computer for? And any kind of research meant you making a physical trip to a library, navigating an unwieldy filing system known as the Dewey Decimal System, which I'm pretty sure still exists. You can Google it. And then traversing multiple floors and thousands of stacks of books to collect the needed volumes, not to mention the need to peruse each one for the desired article, and then hauling all of those massive tomes down to a Xerox machine, or that would be a copier for you neophytes, to make paper copies you could then take to your dorm while you were preparing your manuscript. Who knew then that in less than my lifetime, we would have the ability to summon all the information we might need for that assignment by simply asking our phones to look it up? Unthinkable. Well, those days are gone, and the memories are admittedly a bit fuzzy, but they're not yet forgotten. I recall that my class graduated in May of 1972 under the stadium lights surrounding the field at which the Green Wave still hosts their home football games. I remember walking across a temporary stage, shaking then Principal Dan Herron's hand, and receiving the parchment which proclaimed my successful completion of 12 years of primary and secondary education. And I have to say that I recall marveling at the time, if just a little, at all my classmates and I had accomplished over our short span of years. We'd learned the meaning of thousands of words, diagrammed hundreds of sentences, read a library's worth of books, memorized scores of poems. We'd been tested on the history of our nation as well as the rest of the world, learned to add, subtract, multiply, divide, solve quadratic equations, and calculate the volume of a sphere. We studied foreign languages, Keynesian economics, the anatomy of cells and of whole organisms, the reactions which make carbon-based life possible, and conservation of matter and energy. We learned literally tens of thousands of other facts and theories until it was like, is there really anything left that we don't know? There was a time in the not-so-distant past when that question would not have seemed so unreasonable. And yet today, for all the reading, listening, writing, and watching that you've done in your lives, all the facts that you've acquired, you, your teachers, I, have barely scratched the surface of all the knowledge there is to be had in the world. Tens of thousands of years ago, with the development of language, and more importantly, somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 years ago, with the birth of written language, mankind was finally able to pass on knowledge from one generation to the next in a way that no other creature which had ever lived could. As we recorded our thoughts, discoveries, and inventions, mankind's knowledge expanded, and the new discoveries and ideas could be deduced based on observations, together with previously recorded knowledge, rather than each generation having to literally reinvent the wheel. From prehistoric times up until about 1900, it was estimated that the amount of knowledge in the world doubled about every century. But in the past 1.25 centuries, the accumulation of new knowledge and information has accelerated exponentially. By the time World War II had rolled around, information was doubling every 25 years. By 2020, it was estimated that the doubling time had dropped to a single year, 12 months. Within the next decade, it's estimated that the doubling time of the world's knowledge will shrink to a mere 12 hours. Think of it. From the time you wake up in the morning until the time your parents finish watching the evening news, the amount of recorded information in the world will have doubled. Now, of course, not all that information has an equal impact on advancing mankind's development. Breaking news regarding the Kardashians' court case with Blac Chyna seems unlikely to advance our understanding or improve our lives to the extent that, say, the discovery of CRISPR or research into quantum computing or fusion might. But it is, all of it, out there to be seen or heard or read. We are constantly learning. Every day brings new discoveries, new ideas, new inventions into being. And every day presents new reasons why we might need or want to learn from the information that's out there. I might want to know how to fabricate a replacement part for a 3D printer, how to make cutting finger joints on a table saw more precise. And I definitely need to know how to set up an array in Microsoft's Excel to see if any of my Powerball tickets is a winner. You have learned so much. There is so much more to learn. Make it your mission in life to learn something interesting or useful each and every day. Your diplomas tonight mark a singular accomplishment in your lives, and they are worthy of celebration for what they represent. But they are not an end to your education. Commencement exercises recognize your achievements, but they don't suggest that your learning has concluded. In fact, commencement actually means a beginning or start. I think that the instructor I had for my private pilot training might have said it best, though I'm sure he did not say it first. When I showed him my FAA-awarded pilot's certificate, he said, "Congratulations, you've just received a license to learn." Like that pilot certificate, like my degree from medical school, like the diplomas you will soon hold in your hands, these documents recognize your mastery of a body of information and a set of skills. But more importantly, they recognize your ability to acquire new information, to evaluate it critically, and to assimilate it into your working knowledge to generate new ideas, discoveries, and skills. Whether tonight marks the beginning of a new chapter in your formal education or your transition into the workforce, know that your learning has just begun. All of you have a lifetime of new skills and new discoveries, new or deepening interests that will require you to invest in new knowledge. Let your curiosity, determination, perseverance, and the lessons learned from your 12 years in the classroom drive you always to know more and to do more. You all have achieved a great milestone tonight. You all will receive a diploma as confirmation of that. You all will receive your license to learn. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. Hooper. Our music tonight, titled Be a Light, is by our GHS chorus led by Mr. T.J. McLaughlin. At this time, would our salutatorian, Ms. Hannah Shockley, come to the stage?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Hannah, your class of 22 salutatorian. For any of y'all who know me, I bet you would have never thought I'd be up here on the stage right now. Yeah, me neither. But here we are. I mean, you should have seen my face when my name was called. Frozen. And I was not getting out of that seat. I was more confused than ever. And that's saying a lot for me because I'm literally always confused. Now, I was debating on whether or not to even give a speech because it's really not my thing. And I'm beyond unprepared, unlike our valedictorian who's been preparing for this moment since elementary school. So I'm just gonna make this short and sweet so my class pres can take it over with the long, inspirational one, and I'm sure you don't wanna hear that twice. I began my educational journey at Gallatin High School sophomore year after transferring from Westmoreland, and I was extremely nervous and confused as to why my parents would pull me out of a school in the middle of my high school years, leaving my friends I'd grown up with behind. However, it was hands down one of the best decisions that they ever made for me. The welcoming faces all around really made my high school experience all the better. The rigorous courses, along with the available extracurriculars and CTE courses, really show me that there's a place for everyone here at GHS. I was able to meet some of my closest friends that I hope to keep as we all venture out our separate ways. Now, I've never really been to a graduation, and I'm not exactly sure how these things are supposed to go. But I hear you're supposed to give thanks, so here it goes. Thank you to my mother, Pam, for choosing me out of all the little Asian babies in China. I bet she's proud now. It was looking a little questionable there for a minute with all those car accidents. Yeah, I'm sorry about those. And thank you to my stepfather, Keith, who's always been a real father to me and showed me what hard work and dedication looks like. I want to say thank you to my friends as we all go our separate ways. I'll never forget the bonds we have all created with one another and the memories we've shared. It's been fun, from senior sunrise to our last ride-in. It's been an unforgettable last couple of years, and we've had a lot of moments together for sure. Lastly, thank you to my teachers for pushing me to my limits, even though I know it's a pain in the butt most of the time. These last few years have truly been amazing, and although I didn't grow up in Gallatin, being a part of this community has really made me feel like I truly belong here. Definitely not Westmoreland. Man, did I dodge a bullet with that one. Just to wrap this up, I would like to say in the 3 years I've been here, I've learned many things. One being that we sure do like our pride, and two being it's always a great day to be a Green Wave. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Would our valedictorian, Mr. Jacob Graves, step to the stage?
Thank you, Dr. Becker, and thank you to the students, parents, and staff who made these 4 years so special for all of us. I'd like to start out by quoting Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Let's take a second and think about what he is saying. As I look around this room, I see many paths people will take. These could be college, technical schools, the workforce, or even a glorified beach bum. As a freshman, I was told by Coach Armstrong that these 4 years would fly, and boy was he right. We all started as freshmen, some scared and some eager to see what this high school experience was all about. I'm sure we all remember our first time sitting in the large and crowded lunchroom. Wow, it was nothing like we had ever seen before. This year was full of unforgettable memories. For me, I'll never forget the first day of soccer. People were throwing their guts up everywhere. Another notch in the old coach's belt. But we were the best conditioned team on the field. Thanks, Coach. We then moved on to our sophomore year, a little more confident and a lot more acne. Just as we thought we were getting a hang of this high school thing, life threw a curveball named COVID-19. We were isolated from one another. Suddenly, the computer became our best friend. I'm sure we all look back fondly on the online assignments that we all totally completed. Right, guys? Summer came and went, and we found ourselves starting our junior year. But much like that one toxic ex, COVID wasn't done with us yet. We were robbed of much of our year, and the times we were there, we had to wear those amazing masks. On to our senior year. Finally, a new normal. We got to fill the stands on Friday nights and partied up during our homecoming weeks. Despite all the hardships we faced, we were resolved to make this year our own and to leave our mark on this school. Something I am proud to say we did. We will be remembered as one of the strongest classes this school has seen. We survived a global pandemic, all while navigating the labyrinth of high school. We did not let our circumstances stop us from enjoying the moment. Now let's take a look at the people sitting around us, to your left and to your right. Tonight will be the last night we see some of these faces. So let's take one more chance, one more opportunity to cherish these relationships. As this door comes to a close, another is opening. We must embrace this change, kind of like that one weird uncle at a family gathering. Not because it's something we want to do, but because it's something we have to do. It's time for us to go our own way and be a trailblazer while forging our own paths. Not necessarily to do what's easy, but to make a difference. Tonight, we are graduating students, but tomorrow, the torch will be handed to us, and we will be the business owners, lawyers, astronauts, and who knows, possibly the President of the United States. To reach these levels of success, we first must be great believers in order to be high achievers. Looking among all my friends and classmates, I see these great believers. As we walk out these doors for the last time, it is time for us to blaze our own trails as the trailblazers we are. It has been my honor to represent the class of 2022 as both class president and valedictorian. I want to leave you with one final thought. It's always a great day to be a Green Wave. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. At 5:57 p.m. on May the 7th, the gates opened and the horses bolted down the track. As the jockeys led them into the first turn, a little-known chestnut colt named Rich Strike was in 18th place. When the horses rounded the turn into the home stretch, no one had any idea that history was about to be made. But suddenly, from the middle of the pack, the 3-year thoroughbred made a move along the inside rail and passed all of the other horses to win the Kentucky Derby at the odds of 80-1. Rich Strike, his jockey, his trainer, absolutely stunned the elite world of horse racing and left everyone speechless because he wasn't even supposed to be there that day. He only entered the race the day before because another horse was disqualified. He didn't even get a matching gate number on his saddle cloth because he entered so late. But Rich Strike is a prime example of what can happen if you never give up. I tell this story to illustrate a certain point. There may be many of you here tonight that are surprised to be at this ceremony. Many of your peers may look at you and think, you don't deserve this degree, or that you'll never make it in the real world. But you need to remember that when you put the hard work in and never give up, you have just as much right to be here as anybody else. Now, each and every one of you, no matter what your performance has been up until this moment, needs to turn your eyes to the future, set your jaw, and focus on what you were made to be. So you might ask yourself, how do I know what I was made to be? Every person is uniquely gifted with certain abilities and talents. You need to look deep inside yourself and think about your passions. What really makes you tick? What gets you excited when you get up in the morning? If you could do only one thing in life, what would it be? Once you discover that, then you will know what your next step should be. Whether it be college, trade school, or the workforce. Whichever path will help you achieve your goal. Your passion reveals your calling, and your calling is what you were born to do. Your career is just what you get paid for. It is your job to make those two come together. Once you know your calling and set on your path to achieve it, then the result is ultimately up to you. Yes, it will probably be hard, and there will be obstacles to overcome. But a dedicated hard worker will always succeed, whereas an extremely talented yet lazy person is destined to fail. As the saying goes, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Motivation is everything. The devil is in the details. Every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. To quote Coach Landers, do what you can with what you have, where you are. So as I look out on each of your faces one last time, I want to encourage you to discover your calling and to live it out. This is the only way to be truly happy and to honor God. Each of you is created individually for a specific purpose, and you are meant to do wonderful things in your life. As you go forward from here, I want you to remember Rich Strike and never give up. I want to charge you to carry on the tradition of those that have come before you, the mantle of the Green Wave Pride. Represent us well. I know you will. I am so proud of each and every one of you. You did it. You earned the G. Congratulations, class of 2022. All seniors, please stand. I now present to you the class of 2022. Please join me with a standing ovation of appreciation for their hard work. You need to do a little bit better than that. They deserve it. Let's go. Seniors remain standing. Others, please be seated. By the authority vested in me by the state and the local Board of Education, I have searched or caused to be searched the records for each of the seniors whose names shall be publicly announced. I certify that each of these students has met or exceeded minimum requirements and is eligible to receive a regular diploma or a diploma of specialized education. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor again to present to you the class of 2022. Let's give them another round of applause. All seniors except the first row, please be seated. Mr. Jason Fretch will assist me while Mr. James Van Dyke announces each graduate's name. Again, please do not yell, whistle, or applaud when your graduate's name is called so that all graduates' names may be heard, honored, and recognized equally.
Casey Grace Abason. Caitlin Brooke Abernathy. Giselle Alejandra Acevedo. Denzel Alfaro. Rachel Grace Allen. Ricardo Alvarez. Kiwan Jamir Anderson. Madeline Grace Andrews. Brianna Michelle Arias. Cameron Ben Armad. Raul Martinez Avendano Jr. Kayla Marie Avila. Adam Scott Banks. Philip John Barham. Chelsea Nicole Barker. Landon Carter Barnes. Ana Cristina Barrientos. Amarin Elizabeth Bates. Samantha Nadine Beckham. Connor Edwards Bell. Anissa Shakiria Bennett. Leonardo Betancourt Concilion. Joshua Yahir Betancourt Negrete. Jordan Deanne Birdwell. Luz Jasmine Blanco. Kaylee Faith Blumenthal. Lucas Kyle Bollinger. Hallie Carlise Bowden. Cash Lee Boone. Sidario DeRay Boyd. Avery Grace Bradley. Claire Allen Braswell. Haley Joanne Brinkley. LaDamiana Shanae Angelise Brinkley. Mackenzie Adani Brinkley. Andrew Chapman Brown. Haley Elizabeth Brown. Isaac Reynolds Brown. Stacy Kendall Birch. Sam Burns. Abby Ray Burton. Kamara Janea Butler. Madison Claire Butler. Nola Mae Calhoun. Delaney K. Campbell. Ashton Blake Cannon. Caden Lane Cardoza. Jonathan Bradley Ray Carmen. Austin Arliss Carroll. Aspen Skylar Carter. James Kenneth Carter Jr. Natalie Bronwyn Carter. Ashanti Damani Chumbly. Jasmine Nicole Clark. Jesse Dale Clark. Asa Stephen Claybrook. Hannah Michelle Coates. Timothy Paul Coates. Alexandria Nicole Cockrell. Amy Marie Collier. Seth Nicholas Combs. Emmeline Suzanne Conyer. Carter Knight Cooper. Nathaniel James Carell. Daniel Jose Crespo. Jesse Cullen Crook. Rowan Lee Crowder. Kendall Bailey Curd. Bryson Robert Curtis. Jacqueline Lee Daniel. Emma Grace Daniels. Haley Ryan Danner. Kennedy Francis Daughtry, Christopher Nolan Davis, Tyler Lee Davis, Emma Deaton, Kira Elise DeFries, Christopher Alexander De La Rosa, Kendall Dean DeShazier, Victoria Diaz Lopez, Yacianelis Diaz Ortiz, Jarquise Dwayne Doney, Olivia Grace Donahoe, Stony Lee Doris, Jaden Dean Doss, W.A. Douglas, Nicholas Lorenz Dowell, Essence Imani Lane Dumas, Sanaya Ashanti Dunlap, Danielle Areli Dunn, Adiva Chanel Ely, Kaylee Aileen Elledge, Isabella Ferguson, Madison Alexis Files, Caleb Nathaniel Fine, Faith Reagan Fisher, Jelena Lariana Fitz, Catherine Marie Fitz, Nikaya Deshay Fitz, Julian Flores Vega, Dayton Alexander Floyd, Jadison Parker Flynn, Aiden Ulrich Fontana, Brandon Alexander Fontana, Zoe Catherine Ford, Alasia Shantae Lachey Fowler, Jonathan Wayne Freeman Jr., Mackenzie Renee Freeman, Yael Armando Fuentes Samaripa, Omarion Gamble Kaysen, Sydney Lynn Gaylor, Sarah Gita, Leah Grace Louise Gilly, Catherine Giron, Dennis Alexi Gonzalez, A.B. Gonzalez Garcia, Nicole Mariana Gonzalez Marcy, Zachary Eugene Goodall, Carla Gordillo, Jacob Elijah Wayne Graves, Jasmine Rihanna Sharice Green, Kendra Aaliyah Green, Damian Kane Grissom, Skylar Tylee Groves, Salwa Rachel Guerrero, Buga Anur Har, Hunter Preston Hall, Nicholas Hayden Hall, Skyla Michelle Hall Black, Shifra Abrielle Hallman, Jordan Nicole Haney, Thomas Calvin Hardison, Elijah Jovant Cortez Harris, Isaac Alexander Harris, Thomas Wade Harrison, Malua Hassan, Chloe Elizabeth Hoskins, Zairia Brenda Shea Hawkins, Andrew Fisher Helmenthaler, Jacob Todd Hendricks, Brianna Itzel Hernandez, Denzel Zuriel Hernandez, Jessica Zoraida Hernandez, Jimena Hernandez, Cindy Giselle Hernandez Flores, Presley Paige Hessen, Gracie Hyatt, Callie Peyton Hodges, Ethan Cade Hoffman, Catherine Danielle Horton, Jade Francis Huggins, Justin Hui Huan, Savannah Josette Ivy, Zacchaeus Josiah Jackson, Natasha Jimenez, DeMarcus Tyshawn Johns, Cody Caleb Johnson, Zachary Spencer Johnson, Kimberly Hunter Nicole Jolly, Aaliyah Kenyatta Jones, Connor Harris Jones, Kamisha Jones, Chloe Madison Keene, Ashton Mark Kelly, Janila Tiana Kelsey, Tabitha Selena Kelsey, Tessa Mae Kemp, Michaela Ann Kennedy, Justin Hunter King, Nyamal Kuwaith, Cody Lee Ladd, Anaya Ariel Lavender, Tylea Dejanay Law, Tiana Deasia Lachey Lawrence, Andrew Giovanni Leal, Charles Dakari Lee, Christine Alyssa Legros, Maggie Lynn Lewis, Samaya Armani Lewis, Kenasia Nicole Link, Alicia Renee Link Warren, Connor Jameson Loftus, Cammie Rose Long, Lexi Sage Long, Jamim Galawak Lual, Bryce Taylor Lumpkins, Elwin Didier Luna, Charles Travis Mann, Zachary Cade Martin, Barbara Martinez, Nicolas Junior Martinez Sanchez, Haley Marie Maturo, Shariah Danielle McCurry, Maya Janae McDaniel, Peter Robert McKinnis, Jayshawn Marquez McMurray, Shamaria Marisha McMurray, Malia Madison Metters, Ricardo Mejia, Jacqueline Mejia Perales, Kirsten Faith Messler, Ethan Shane Miller, Preston Blake Mincy, Victor Alejandro Monroy, Janaya Lishay Moore, Nancy Gabriela Mora, Madison Faith Morrill, Ian McKay Neely, Mariah Jaden Michelle Nevels, Elias Shamar Nobrega, Yassine Issa Noor, Alexis Cheyenne O'Brien, Dylan Tyler Odom, Mario Eduardo Olvera, Christopher Dwayne O'Neill, Tawny Overlock, Destiny Lynn Overton, Marquilos Montrell Owens, Reagan Avery Padilla, Sarah Elizabeth Page, Angel Shandon Parker, Antonio Sanchez Parker, Joseph Edward Pate, Maitri Tarlika Patel, Neil Vasant Patel, Vedant Gautam Patel, Riley Alexander Payne, Maggie Lee Pearson, Matthew Alexander Pedigo, Vicente Andres Perez, Ray Perez, Brian Michael Perez Ancheta, Maggie Lee Perry, Jacora Lene Marie Pervat, Mina Young Pham, Aaron Flavin Phillips, John Daniel Phillips, Jackson Alexander Potvin, Jacob Thomas Powell, Dania Gassan Quad, Felix Lachey Quiros, Colby Addison Rader, Thinyan Wall Rambang, Rolando Rongel Silva, Benjamin Alexander Ray, Michael Brandon Roark, Zacchis De Cortez Robertson, Xavier DeAndre Robinson, Derek Lamont Rogers Jr., Richland Deshari Shantae Rogers, Charlotte Elizabeth Rominger, Parker Cole Rosenblatt, Zachary Taylor Rudzinski, Helen Minette Ruiz, Tasha Sadler, Roberto Samayoa, Jacob James Sanders, Mario Ismael Santiago, Griffin Benjamin Say, Laura Eden Sales, Sarah Alex Sales, Aaliyah Maria Sharklet, Dylan Matthew Shook, McKinley Gale Scudder, Ariana Lorene Searcy, Timothy Simeon, Hannah Dinjang Shockley, Eli Morgan Siltman, Akiria Lania Simpson, Patrick Connor Simpson, Gregory Lynn Smith Jr., Jackson Charles Michael Smith, Jacob Shane Smith, Jamia Tynese Smith, Mason Thomas Smith, Nancy Solano Vasquez, Ashley Solis, Marikayla Mejia Soam, Kayla Nicole Sustek, Talia Nyasia Stafford, Andrew Ryan Stearns, Mason Nicholas Steele, Eliana Gail Street, Madison Marie Street, Cameron Lee Strickland, Lauren Michelle Stromer, Dee Sullivan, Olivia Marie Sutton, Avery Lee Swoboda, Lucas Jason Shermansky, Jasmine Imani Talley, Sadie Ann Templeton, Devin Lee Thompson, Madeline Lunkarun Tongmanivong, Abigail Morgan Thurber, Melanie LaDeja Renee Thurman, Zyla Janelle Tibbs, Georgina Tinajero, Courtney Danielle Toms, Julia Brooke Tomlinson, Ty Alexander Toth, Daniel Trujillo, Malachi Jaheim Turner, Noah James Turner, Madeline Grace Van Hemmert, Kelton Lionel Vaughn, Leslie Moraney Vasquez, Victor Velasco, Juan Arturo Velasco Reyes, Alejandro M. Vizcarra, Chikmir Tot Bokjok Wall, Allison Brianna Warner, Alexis Marie Warren, Malaysia Tyrannese Watkins, Riley Kieran Watson, Alyssa Madison Watts, Charles Elijah Wheeler, Kylie Lynn Wheeler, Timothy Cole Whitaker, Ella Kathleen Wilbur, Jalen DeMarquez Wilkes, Adavia Alice Williams, Ashton Russell Williams, Bernez Christian Williams, Devin Edward Wayne Williams, Logan Riley Williams, Cherish Marie Willis, Alasia Shade Wilson, Gabriel Jeremiah Wordworth, Jade River Woodenberg, Derek Sean Wright, William Alexander Wright, Carson Lee Yates, Allison Christine Young, Miracle Joyce Young, Zachary Taylor Zaffis, Kevin Zaragoza, Sydney Lynn Zwart,
Can I just pause for a moment and thank you all, family, friends, thank you all. There's a lot to thank you for, but specifically tonight, thank you for allowing each name to be heard and be recognized equally. That's important to us here at Gallatin. So thank you. Seniors, please stand. One more time for them. Seniors, as an outward symbol of the high school diploma which you have just received, signifying your graduation from Gallatin High School, I now ask that you move your tassel with your right hand from right to left. If everyone would please join us for the singing of our alma mater by the GHS Chorus. Following the alma mater, please remain standing through the recessional.
As the years go by.
Thank you again. Have a good evening. Be safe.